right. Well, I'll start off again. I'm gonna keep saying it because it's important, and I think it was awesome yesterday with the atmosphere being electric and the fans and everything. Huge part of it for our guys and everyone. We were just in there talking about how great it was, and to be able to celebrate a great victory in front of everybody with them was pretty neat. So again, we appreciate that. And with injuries, as far as both of the two guys, Aaron Lynch, both of these guys are going through further evaluations today as we speak. They're actually in them. So with that, we're just we're keeping our fingers crossed for both of them. But we think that we'll get some news back here in the next 24 hours later on today. I should hopefully know a little bit more. Aaron did his elbow on a play in the third quarter. So we just got to see the extent of that, and then obviously everybody saw where Eddie's was at. So we just got to get the test results back. So once we find out more, we'll let you guys know and go from there. Injuries. As far as me watching the game and going back watching it, I'll start off with the defense. Playing against that quarterback, Aaron Rodgers, is always an extreme challenge. He's a heck of a quarterback that's been doing it for a long time. And I thought yesterday it's really unique. It's crazy how we were in very similar situation as we were in week one, where scenario-wise with the score and then kind of how things were going with them creeping back. I thought our defense at the right time, when they needed to make the 3-and-out stops, they did that there in the third and fourth quarter. They continue to keep constant pressure on him, which is huge in a game like that, to disrupt him in the pocket. And then some of the throws that he made were contested and batted down. And I thought we did a good job there. Linebackers flying all over. Offensively, throughout the game, I felt good with most of it. In particular, what jumped out to me today was how great of a game that Mitch played. I thought he played a really good game yesterday. And, I don't know exactly how, offensively, I thought we did okay. There was times we could have been better. We did get some first downs and move the chains at times. I thought we were good in the red zone. But yesterday, Mitch made some great plays with his legs in the pocket where it broke down and then made the pass or made a scramble on a third and long there in the fourth quarter. And so he was I like where he's at. I think that for him to use that as another example of going back to all year long, just these situations that we've had with him. And so I was really happy with how he played. I thought Jordan Howard ran the ball hard with the chances that he got. And then, again, I'm going to give a lot of credit to Mike Pettin, the defensive coordinator. He does some good stuff and gave a lot of different looks that for us were good for us to see. Special teams-wise, Pat O'Donnell's been having a great season. There's been times we've been backed up, and he flips he flips the field, and then our gunners are going down and getting the ball, and we're making tackles. And so throughout, again, just all around, I thought the special teams was good. Now we had the fake punt that we didn't get, and you wish you would have got that, but we didn't. And so I thought that our defense stepping up a couple series after that, and the offense, again, like I said yesterday, was good.
Now with your injured guys, what's the level of concern that either would be season ending?
I don't think we're there for either one of them as far as the level of concern. But again, once we get more info back on them, then I'll be able to answer that better. But I don't think either one of them season ending.
Matt, when we've talked a lot about Mitch's mechanics sometimes under pressure, but regardless of the throwing, where did his ability, he seems to have a really good just instinctual ability for sidestepping pressure at times while keeping his eyes downfield regardless of what happens once he throws the ball. Where does that come from?
Yeah. Well, some guys have it, some guys don't, and he has it. He has a good field presence in the pocket. You can kind of sense it. Now, there was one play where, as we go through the tape this morning, where He felt a little pressure coming to his right, and he drifted left, and we had a throw over the middle of the field. Something like that, he went back. But I'll take those for the ones that he does make with what you're talking about. There's times where he senses it. There was one where on the one, I think it was second and long, he felt Clay Matthews coming off his right side, and he scrambled out to the left, and he went to throw and just got it off and threw it to Taylor Gabriel for a first down. That's just having a sense and a feel of your timing and your QB clock that you have, and he has a good awareness in the pocket.
Matt, what did you think of his decision-making, particularly in the context of you talking last week about making things black and white for him,
Yeah.
to make quick decisions, clear ones?
I thought yesterday was one of his better games of doing that, and that's why I go into. You think you feel that in the game, you don't know for sure, but then you watch it on tape, and there was a couple throws that he made yesterday. I know the exact throws where he just right away. In earlier in the year, it might have been great to him because he didn't know the concept inside out. Now that he's learning that concept, the gray went away, and it became to him black and white. Boom, made a throw, and instead of a bounce, scramble, throwaway, it was a ball out on time, 5-yard gain.
Any throw you could?
Well, here's just one for example. The one down, we were in the, I think, the big red zone, and around the 20, 25-yard line, and he threw one to the flat to 29 to Tariq real quick to the flat, and he just got like 4 or 5 yards. But within the progression of the play, he made a quick decision. No one will know that watching that. They just think that the ball was designed to go there on the first part of the play, and it wasn't. He just made a quick decision and got it out, and that's, as coaches, we know that. That's where we see the growth.
Just curious, there's an RPO, I think it was the 3rd and 2, where he handed off to Mizell. Did he make the correct, because it looked like 51 kind of stepped back.
No, he made the right read there. Yeah, they penetrated through the line, and but he made the correct read.
Say about a young quarterback, second-year guy, that he can rebound like he did from probably his worst game of the season. And you obviously watched him on tape when you got the job, but when did you know that he had that ability in him to do something like that?
Just as the year goes on, you feel it. You know, you have discussions with him. He'll come into my office, or we talk in Rags' office, or with Coach Helfrich. You know, we're pretty open dialogue as far as where he's feeling, where he's at. But I do think that that's another part of this too, is that he said it to you guys. He felt like he might have put a little bit too much on his shoulders that last week, and so he was really calm and relaxed. His demeanor throughout the game. The times that I saw him, and I know just talking to the coaches on the sideline, that he was just cool as a cucumber yesterday, and just really nothing got too big for him. And I thought he protected the football, and then he made throws when he was supposed to. And with this team right now, the way we're built, when you do that, we're always going to have a chance to win.
And now that you're in the playoffs, how do you balance your kind of desire to keep your eye on the ball with also now some future things where you have future opponents? You want to make sure your players are ready to go for the playoffs. Does that change the dynamic a little bit from that week, that tunnel vision week to week thing?
No, it doesn't. The only reason I say that is, two things. I think number one, I mentioned it yesterday, is that it's okay to celebrate and enjoy last night and yesterday, but we have bigger things that we're trying to achieve. And I think that's going to be the biggest challenge right now for us where we're at, is understanding, okay, we accomplished a good goal. But that's not enough, and so how do you make sure that everyone understands that? And with that said, now you take it into the last 2 weeks of the season, and there's the ability for us to be, basically 4 different seeds, and now there's some are slimmer than others, but when you take that into account, it makes it easy. You go play and you play to win, and nothing changes, and you literally control what you can control.
So there, to you, I mean, there's, I guess, obvious value in getting that first round bye.
Oh, of course. I mean, if you want to ask me if I want the first round bye or number 1 seed, absolutely. I want it. Give it to me right now.
But I mean, that could be an issue. Like in week 17, you're cognizant of injuries and stuff like that. Some coaches want to rest their guys in week 17.
Yeah, that would be probably after next week, when you have an idea of what happens with other teams, what happens with us, but for the most part, I mean, all of that is, unless you're locked in and you can't move, then you have to decide. To me, that's when you have to decide what you want to do. But right now, we got to win.
Why was it?
Did you allow yourself to appreciate, what you've accomplished so far? It's just in your.
I did, yeah, well, I wanted us to allow, I wanted everybody, I love like just sitting back and watching everybody dance after the game in the locker room and having one-on-one conversations with the coaches in the coaches' locker room and seeing the smiles on their faces. We've had a bunch of different coaches that have come from different teams that haven't had this success before. We've had players that haven't had it. So we put a lot of time and a lot of hours into this, and so we're crazy if we don't allow them to enjoy it for a little bit. But yet, the neat thing is you hear everybody talking about, that we really want more. And as long as we keep that in mind and we understand that, then we gotta make sure that we focus on that and just continue week by week.
You said on the radio today after the game you had a moment with Ryan, but then with George and Mrs. McCaskey. What was that like for you?
Well, it was nice because I know, number one, how much it means to them, the success that we're having. It's always positive when you're winning, and then when you do it at home and you do it against a division rival with the Packers, it means a lot. And so I just wanted to thank them for allowing me to. They gave me this opportunity, all of them, and I said thank you. That's basically what it came down to.
Matt, what did you think of Anthony Miller's game yesterday?
Yeah, he was. He did some things for us that we asked him to do. As far as you're seeing with this offense, a lot of guys are not. It kind of spreads around with who's getting the ball, and sometimes, depending on the game, other guys will get more catches than other players. But he's doing everything that we're asking him to. I like where he's at. He's continuing to grow. He's seeing it's a long season, right, physically and mentally. And so we're trying to make sure that we handle that the right way with him.
Along those lines, what did you think of Josh Bellamy's game yesterday?
Well, he's been stepping in for us at good times. Josh really knows this offense. He understands it, all three positions, and then to come in there and make that big catch, that was a contested catch. That thing was covered, and he made that catch, and that was huge. That was a huge play in the game.
Did Mike Fleury do anything different with him this year in terms of just working on? I know it sounds simple, but catching the football?
No. I mean, Mike's done some things with all those guys. Nothing really that stands out individually. You might have to ask Mike that. But I think, honestly, when it comes down to it with these guys, a lot of it is just confidence, just playing with a true belief in yourself, not worrying about if you make a mistake. And some guys, if they've been in that position before, now they're in a position where they can just go play, and if you drop the ball or if you miss a block, we'll tell you that, but then we won't harp on it. You just go fix it, and Bellamy's been doing some great stuff for us this year.
Trey Cohen, is he kind of a luxury item, just considering his
Who's that?
Tariq Cohen.
Yeah.
His versatility, with the 44-yard return yesterday, the touchdown catch. How important is that guy?
Well, I mean, that's an understatement. I mean, he's very valuable to this team. He can do everything for us. He's I've said it all year long. He's extremely bright with this offense. He can play multiple positions. He's a willing participant in everything. He doesn't care whether it's blocking somebody, returning a punt, running a route, taking a handoff, playing quarterback. He'll do it all, and that helps when you have those type of players.
The offensive line is kind of seemed to gel in pass protection since it's kind of got the continuity there. Where have you seen that grow over the last couple games?
They've been doing pretty well all year long in pass protection. I thought they've been doing a good job. And again, when you have two new guys at guard, with James and then with Witz coming in, sometimes the thing that gets slighted in that is the communication of talking and understanding how guys work. And I think the more time they get together, they're starting to feel more comfortable with each other, and so you're starting to see the production with them in pass protection.
Matt, how do you feel like runs with the quarterback under center are helping Jordan Howard? Or are they?
Yeah, maybe at times. And you saw the touchdown run yesterday, and that was a well-executed play. I mean, that's one that you tag on the video, and you use that for next year when you talk about how to run that play. Our guys, everybody there executed it the right way. And so those are the fun ones to watch on tape. But I think you want to have a balance of doing that. You guys know we're a heavy gun team. So the times that we do go under, teams feel like it's heavy run. So we got to make sure that we do enough out of that as well. But as far as Jordan specifically, just, you're more downhill. Different types of run concepts might be better for him, but we try to sprinkle it in and do a little bit of both. It's just a little bit of a change up for him.
What kind of progress? Floyd had his best game?
You know what? You might be right with that. He was everywhere. You talk about relentless. I mean, and it started the very first play of the game, and man, he was, and not just him. They were all flying around, but he had a great game, and you like to see that. But those guys, man, that whole defensive line, the outside linebackers, the linebackers, man, they were flying around.
With Floyd's athleticism specifically, does that help you when you have somebody like Callahan go down, even that, maybe you can drop him if you have to in base?
Yeah, and you saw that yesterday. He did a little bit of that and then reacted and made some nice tackles too off of that. But the other thing too that needs to be brought up is I thought Sheriff McManus played lights out yesterday. I go back to that third down. I think it was third down. Aaron threw a bump and run ball to Randall Cobb down at the goal line, and Sheriff made it one of the best plays of the game. And usually that ball is completed. That's one of those throws and those completions that just happens with those guys. And Sheriff made a great play. That was a better. So the very first week against Green Bay, Rodgers dropped a dime for about 55 in the corner of the end zone, and it was great defense. It was better offense, right? I thought yesterday that was great offense, and it was better defense. And it goes with the throw down the sideline to Devontae versus Prince. Prince had him locked up. That was a hell of a throw and a hell of a catch. Sometimes that happens, but that was a big part of the game, I think, to make that play, and then he made some other plays too.
With Leonard Floyd, he didn't have the numbers in the first half of the season when he was playing hurt. How was his attitude, and did he get frustrated? And did you have to be patient with him?
Yeah, well, he had to be patient with himself, because you can start pressing in those situations when the numbers aren't there, but you know that you're helping out the way you're playing. So sometimes the numbers thing can get out of whack just because you don't have the sacks. But it's starting to turn up now. You're starting to see more numbers from him. But to me, he's still flying around doing he's practicing hard. And obviously I don't think he's pressing anymore. I thought, not that he was a lot before, but I think it was in the back of his mind that he didn't have any sacks, but now he's just playing ball, and that's what we need.
Now, where have you seen Roquan kind of progress over the past few weeks?
Yep, he's the game's slowing down to him every time. You just turn on the tape, and all of a sudden looks like he's rushing to the left, and then there's a throw to the right to the sideline, and all of a sudden this laser just comes flying across and makes a tackle. And it happens all the time. He's got tremendous speed, creates a lot of impact at the tackle point. He brings it, and he's only going to get better.
Mitch has only been sacked once in each of his last 5 games. Going back to the earlier question about the protection, obviously aside from his mobility, what is he doing from a line of scrimmage standpoint in terms of seeing things and making sure his guys are sliding the right way?
Well, he does a good job along with the line of making the protection checks. But the other part of this that's a part that's just as big is making sure the ball's out on time. And that's only going to get better each week because, again, he knows where to go with the football. So we could keep sitting up here every week, and hopefully you're starting to see less sacks. And, as you hope, you hope you see less sacks and the ball out and completion percentage is higher because he knows where to go, and maybe less scrambling. Now, by scheme, you may have more scrambles if they're playing 22-man or if they're rushing 3, which we saw yesterday as well.
You're one of 3 teams that has not lost a game by more than 7 points. You've been in every game this year, and you've had situations where you could have had letdowns. And again, coming up against the 49ers after another situation like that, how is that? I know we've asked you about this before, but how have you been able to get that message to resonate with these guys? Is it what you're doing? Is it the players? What is the trick to that to be able to maintain that even keel that keeps you from flopping?
Right. It's the players. It's how they're handling themselves week to week. It's how they handle themselves in practice. It's how they handle themselves in the game. And I appreciate that. These guys come to work every day. They're working hard. And then, you know, we try to break it down as coaches. We try to break it down into weekly segments. So now the one time this year where we broke it down into 3 weeks was going into that 3 games in 12 days time. But other than that, and even in that was a big picture. And then, okay, now let's reset. We're Detroit, Minnesota, Detroit. But all year long, we've done a good job as a team keeping focused on what we need to control and what we can control. And then the players do it. And they've proven that all year long. And I think that's why you see that we're in all these games. And when you have that, you ask that of your players, and they respond that way. You gotta appreciate that.
Matt, did you do anything to max out your 24-hour rule last night? Anything special?
Anything special? No. You know what I did? I enjoyed a lot of good quality time with my sons at home. I ate sushi, and I had one beverage.
How big was it?
It was